guys?
Oh man,
Shit.
we got everything going. I think now everything's going smooth.
I like your one-eyed Willie flag back there. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, it's great. You got to have a pirate flag somewhere around your place.
That was our fraternity's like symbol. It was a skull and crossbones and a black heart inside of a black heart,
Oh damn, that's official.
and it was lined with roofie pills. It was
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
Did you draw it out in like cocaine or something like that on a table?
No, I just took it to heart. I was the only guy in Sigma Phi Epsilon Penn New history to roofie himself twice.
I wouldn't peg you for a fraternity guy. I don't know.
Well, it wasn't like a boat shoes, Bermuda shorts fraternity. It was a bunch of dudes like me.
Okay.
So it was basically the most annoying fraternity on campus. But, but I mean, we had a lot of parties and rich alumni, so they couldn't kick us off campus.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it was like Van Wilder times 60.
Where'd you go to school at?
Teal. It's in Greenville, PA. It was like just like a little bit north of Pittsburgh. It was like a Teal.
Huh? Never heard of it.
Thiel.
Okay. Like a liberal arts school, or?
Yeah, it was like a little private liberal arts school. It was kind of small. It was like you ever see Animal House? That like little town that their college is in or whatever. Bo, stop it. Hey, my dog's doing stupid shit. Bo, get the fuck out of
The podcast guest
anyway.
next week.
There was like 1,100 kids at the school, and like we made up half the town. So the town treated all the athletes like they were pro football players, and they were not. And then, but yeah, it was like Favre University. It was like, 14 bars, 13 churches, and a Walmart.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Is
cool.
that were you doing comedy back then, or when did you start doing comedy?
I was I didn't, that's like when everyone says like, how long have you done comedy? I did 4 years of stand up and didn't realize I was doing it. I was like the forever MC for the Robinson Theater. So when they would have like people come in, Carrot Top was one of them. I would like do like 15 minutes of like basically crowd warm up and then like introduce whoever it was and then fuck off. I would just leave.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't really know I was doing it. I didn't take it seriously for a while.
Oh, you were just like a savvy bingo caller or something and didn't realize it.
Well, yeah. Well, we had a radio show. I was on where's my shit at? I was on the Webcat radio thing for the college. It was a morning show, and it was like the only comedy related type thing on there. It just had us like, oh, it's gonna get dark for a second. Hold on. I'm gonna have to switch over to my computer. You guys
That's cool.
snuck
People
up
listening
on me.
probably thought the story was gonna get dark.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
Oh yeah, it got so dark.
And then the shit got real. There were several murders. My radio career went well though.
But yeah. So basically, I just did crowd warm up, and like the only thing that came out of it was some fucking idiot brought Carrot Top over to my apartment, which was next door to the theater. And I just like got awkward, and I was just like, yeah, so I'm gonna leave. It was like kind of like a "what you about to do" moment.
Oh man. So he was kicking it there and you had to leave?
He just like my buddy walked in because like I left. I didn't stay for his show. Like I'm not a Carrot Top fan, and we're just smoking in my apartment. It was like the bottom floor of a duplex, and my buddy's like, "Hey, I'm about to walk in the back door. I brought someone with me. You're never gonna believe this." Then I saw who it was. And I was like, "No, I totally believe it." And I'm pissed now. Get him the fuck out of here! Like, dude, weird as shit.
Yeah.
Was he weird? Like when you met him, was he like a personable guy, or did he seem?
Dude, he poked his head like around the corner from the kitchen to the living room, and was like, "Whoa, I love college apartments." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
You're like, good. Nobody else does.
He's like, I'm in them all the time.
Right. Uninvited.
He's like,
All
I've
right.
always wanted to see what it is
Is
from the
there,
inside.
yeah, right. When everybody's awake, I'm trying to figure out how to switch over to my laptop.
Try not to
probably,
strangle my
probably
cat
just,
with a cord.
probably just log out for a second and log back in is the only way to do it. I'm thinking.
All right. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll have to hang up and then log in on this. So this is already logged in. I just gotta join the meeting.
Yeah.
So hold on a second.
Yeah, figure might be able to use. I was recording, so I figure maybe we can use that for like bonus shit sometime or something.
I hope so. I was gonna say the Carrot Top story is hilarious.
Yeah, or maybe I can just edit it in. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, do a preview.
Yeah, but yeah, man, this Mike Chizelka guy is funny as fucking. He's pretty cool too. He's pretty down to earth, and like last night, it's funny how like veteran comics like will like point something out that you don't usually do that you did by accident on
Ooh.
stage and be like, don't do that, you know. And I'm like, oh yeah, I never do that. I don't know why I did.
Yeah. All right,
Like,
it's gonna happen.
yeah, like last night when I went into my deer joke before I did it, I like asked how many people there smoked weed
Yeah.
ever, and I had like one person, and I made like a little joke about it only being one person, but he's like, never lead into a joke like that asking how many people smoked weed, because it's like you're asking permission to do the joke. Just do it.
Yeah, it's fair.
And I was like, yeah, I don't normally do that. I don't know why I did that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Usually when I think of that, I think of Bill Stone. Like, where are all my weed smokers at?
yeah,
I don't smoke weed.
yeah. I usually lead into that with the joke about the online weed study or whatever. That's how I usually lead into the deer joke. But
I do like that joke.
yeah,
I
but I
smoke
was
it like
thrown
a
off. I was thrown off last night a little bit. The first show, it just had been a while since I hosted for like a bunch of people, you know,
yeah.
and so the second show, I felt like I got in a rhythm though, and I fucking killed. It was awesome.
That's good,
Uh,
man. I'm
but I
proud
know
of you,
I'm
yeah.
not really supposed to kill being the host, I guess. But
I mean, ye- I don't really see it as a bad thing. Like, no one's ever been like, that host was so funny that I hated the show.
yeah, yeah. I think it just I think it just sucks for the next comic coming up when anytime somebody kills, whether it's like because the crowd's expectations are higher, so you have to come out firing harder. You know, I mean that's
Sometimes I like that though. Like if the guy before me kills, I'm like, okay, I have to like sell this shit.
yeah,
I kind of got to do that last night at Grindstone. Like when I got to just do a regular set instead of hosting, I got to go up there and just focus on the jokes and everything like that. And it went really well. It was nice to actually
yeah,
just get to just go up and focus on the jokes. But
yeah, yeah. That's what I did the second time, man. I kind of I didn't really focus on like how many minutes I was doing or anything. I was like, I don't give a shit how many minutes I'm not.
yeah,
I'm like, if I go a little over, Pete's not going to notice because I'm the one keeping the time. If I go a little under, who gives a fuck? Like,
yeah,
do you remember that? You remember that Austin Robertson dude?
yeah.
Yeah, he's the one featuring this weekend. He's pretty funny.
Oh, I'd love to go see him. Yeah, it's been a while. He was there my first time I ever did it, and I got to be on his like podcast that he was doing at the Funny Stop like before, and I showed up super early, and Pete was like, "You go talk to Austin. He put you on podcast," and I was like, "Wow, it's really easy to get on a podcast in this game. I haven't even done stand up yet." And so like, I I walked over, and it was cool because he was like interviewing me about like how it feels before you go up and different things to think about and what my interests in comedy were and like all sorts of shit, so that was kind of cool. And
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I have it like recorded, so it's neat to like listen and be like, that's what I sounded like right before I got into this hardcore and didn't know if I was going to do good. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I wish I had something like that because all I have is like my jaded memory of the first time I
yeah,
did
right.
comedy. Yeah.
And like I'm always looking back at it and I'm so biased now because I'm like, I'm sure I was totally confident with me doing all right. And then like in reality, like I feel like I could hear my voice shaking before I got up there.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's nuts to think back about that shit, man. And the fact that like I was telling Josh, we had a hell of guest sets last night, dude. The first show was Jason Moliterno and Dan Brown.
What?
Yeah, and then the second show was Josh Volchko and that Greg Winston, the autistic kid from Columbus.
Greg Winston got a guest slot? Oh my
Yeah,
god. I like that
yeah,
dude. He's
yeah.
fun.
He's funny, man.
I, did you see that dude up there with the paralyzed voice box?
Uh,
He he's
huh,
on amateur nights. He doesn't really do guest sets, but he's got like a paralyzed voice box, and you could tell when he talks, he sounds like Wheezy, that toy from Toy Story.
yeah,
He was actually funny as hell. Like his writing was really good, and I was thinking, man, this is gonna be kind of tough as far as like delivery and staying in this thing long term. Like if you're like mostly just wind when it comes to a sound, but your writing's really good. So I don't know. I feel kind of bad for the guy in that
yeah,
respect. It's almost worse that he's really good and is gonna have trouble like that.
yeah, yeah. It sucks, dude. I hate that I can't watch like any football today
Yeah, right.
because I'm doing this, and then I'm gonna be on Tim Danko and Ray Highclass podcast because they want to talk about football, and and then I'm going to Funny Stop right after that. So
Like, isn't that the shitty part? You're like, oh man, we're talking about the football that I can't really watch right now.
yeah. I'm assuming they want to talk about the Browns because I know nothing about any other team really.
Yeah,
I know about individual offensive players because I play fantasy football, but that's about
same.
it.
I don't know too much about defensive players for the other teams.
Yeah,
But then I think about it and I'm like, who probably knows anything about like Denzel Ward or like, too many people on the Browns aside from Miles Garrett
yeah, just
as
Browns
far as
fans
defense
basically.
goes.
Yeah.
It's the Tedward Bruno.
Coming soon. Uh,
Coming soon to your dormitory. Teddy Bruno. Oh
uh,
man.
if you can get his camera on, maybe he's connected to audio.
He's got to
I
disassemble the
hear him.
camera from his bedroom or something. He's like, sorry, my OnlyFans and my podcasting, it's in the same room.
Oh man, I don't understand how dudes sign up for OnlyFans and like subscribe to girls' pages that they know. And then like what like later on you're gonna like see that person somewhere and it's gonna be super weird. Like
Yeah. He'd
because
be
I
like,
know a bunch of like bartenders at bars that I used to go to that have an OnlyFans. And,
yeah,
and I'm like, if you like subscribe to that now, then after COVID, you go back to that bar, it's gonna be weird as fuck.
I guess. Yeah.
Like,
It depends. Some people probably just do it and don't care,
yeah,
and like maybe nerves of steel, but I think it'd be weird too. You'd be like, I saw you naked and you didn't like show me you naked. I had to
yeah,
buy it.
you just like look each other in the eyes and be like, we know what's going on here, and it's fucking weird. Like
She's like,
that's
you jerked it to me. I know you did.
yeah, yeah,
And we're just gonna pretend it didn't happen.
All right, we did it.
We did
I
it.
have no idea what the fuck's going on right now.
We're talking about OnlyFans. We're saying it's weird that dudes. We got to get Teddy in on this conversation. This is
You know what's
podcast gold
funny?
right here.
I actually heard some mention of OnlyFans right as I was logging back on. I could see and hear you guys.
Yeah.
Is this okay? Can you guys hear and see me okay? All right.
Yeah,
We're going
solid,
off the
buddy.
phone, going off the cuff right now. Zoom does not like me at all. I don't
It
know.
barely likes me. I had to buy a new laptop for it.
Really?
yeah.
Not entirely for that, but I mean it helps.
Porn laptop.
And OnlyFans. Someone's got to subscribe to all the local bartenders and stuff like we were just talking about. That's what we were saying. We were saying it's weird that guys subscribe to OnlyFans of girls that they know and then they like go look those girls in the eye like in person, and it's just
Yo, you
not
want to know?
supposed to be weird.
It's so funny that you mentioned that because just recently, a comedian that we all know and stuff from like I think she's at the Funny Stop mostly. Used to be a stripper for her dad's club.
Oh,
She has
okay.
a fucking OnlyFans, and
Yeah.
like yeah,
Yeah.
it's not, I don't think that I want to spend $12.99.
The fact
I
that you
don't,
know the price is so much better. It's like
I
you hovered over it.
thought about it. That's
no,
why
I went to the site. I logged in.
Just curious. I don't.
We
I
can
mean,
cut this part out.
oh no, this is the best part of the podcast.
no, I saw that too, and I was like, no, even if I wanted to, that would be too weird.
It would be
so
kind of weird. Plus, isn't it
Yeah.
odd that like strippers have OnlyFans? Because isn't that like why you go to the club? Is that like their version of like a virtual strip club kind of?
Yeah,
Yeah, but she's not
maybe.
anymore.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
that's, she's a manager. She's in
That's
management
okay.
now. How dare you?
Yeah, yeah.
Fair.
She
But
figured out what stage she wanted to be on.
yeah, sometimes
Stage 4 prostate cancer.
sometimes you'll see like certain girls you know that have them, and you're like, I just want to know what the asking price is. Like, how much does she value herself?
Too much.
That's
Tell
You
you.
go in
dude.
there and you're like, yeah, I don't agree with that, but
I only charge $5 a month for my OnlyFans, like, and I'm sticking to it.
Dude, you know what
It's
I think it's weird? I think it's weird when girls like advertise for their OnlyFans on their Facebook page. Like,
Right? Like, hey mom, just in case you were wondering how I was doing.
right. Like, I mean, hopefully they don't have any family members and shit on their Facebook friends, but I assume everybody does. I mean,
I hope they do.
that just makes things for the next job interview kind of weird. And they're like, oh, lovely resume, nice lower back tattoo. Let's get into
Right.
this. Yeah.
yeah.
Hey guys, happy Thanksgiving. Did you see my pussy on the internet yet?
Yeah, man. I like how Teddy was early, and then he
For
found
once.
a way to come back late. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to be early and then like delay everything for everyone. You
Just
know?
not
Dude,
stay early.
The greatest was the time. I think it's the time from the joke that you tell about when you were late to your co-feature contest.
Oh my god. That was a good one. I
Pete's
think that was like the
setting up all these
beginning.
guest sets. Pete's setting up all these guest sets and shit because he didn't know if you were gonna show or not.
I called him. He never answers. He's mad at me right now. He won't even tell me why.
I don't have his number. I just text him on Facebook usually.
It does. That's the best way because I texted him the other night when fucking Carter's co-feature was, or like when he won it,
Yeah.
and I said something. I don't even remember what I was telling him, but it wasn't anything bad or anything. But he doesn't save your number. He just assumes he knows who he's talking to,
Okay.
and he was like, he misread my text. He was like, what the fuck, asshole? Like just saying all this weird like shit. I was like, damn, Pete. I was like, I'll just talk to you tomorrow.
I love when he starts talking about politics to a bunch of liberal comedians. He's like,
Yeah.
dude, last night, man, it was like me, Jason Malterno, Josh Volchko, and Dan Brown, and we're all sitting there, and he just starts going off about his, you know what his politics are, whatever. And it's just like we're all just sitting there like rolling our eyes and shit, you know, like what the fuck, Pete? God damn it. I just don't see why
I hear the
always
first
like
three
no
words.
politics. He's always like no politics on
Yeah.
stage, and then he talks about it all the time.
And he's like yelling at it or yelling about it in the bar area while someone's on stage telling them no politics.
Yeah.
I love it when he's like, no fucking swearing. You got to keep it fucking clean and no fucking talking about politics. Trump, Biden, Bernie, none of them fuckers. It's like,
Yeah, I got the.
and he's in the microphone.
Yeah, he's telling
I
everybody.
got the fuck you from Pete last night. He was doing the whole announcement thing, telling people to put their mask on whenever they go to bathroom or whatever, and you couldn't understand a fucking word he was saying, of course. And I was like, well, in case you couldn't understand Pete, what he said was, and he's like, fuck you. I'm like,
were, were you guys there like one of the last times I was there and he like waited until my closer and just fucking stepped on the callback like right at the end, like the actual like last word of this, just stepped on it in the microphone from the booth. Like he was like, "This joke isn't funny." I was like, "It was about to be." You fucking
Well, not now. It's not.
My favorite Pete heckle was the one time Ray Hyclack did his white trash joke, and he said, "I'm white trash." Whatever, and Pete's walking through the audience. He's like, "I believe you."
He did that to me when I did the transvestite joke. He goes, "True story, folks."
That's the greatest, man. That's the greatest. When did Teddy? When did you? So did you do comedy in New Orleans, like, and then move here and start doing comedy, or did you take a break?
No, I moved a bunch. I worked for it was like a company, but like as a contractor that was on a contract. So it was like basically they just told me where to be and they would send me tickets. So I would fly around a lot to like all the VAs. So I got to like move around the country and I would just do open mics and shit like that. If I was somewhere like long term or like a couple months or something, then I would, eventually work into a showcase if I was lucky, or, a couple of guest sets at whatever local club. The coolest spot was Long Beach, California, because I was there for like 3 months or something like that. And I I had to leave, back and forth here and there for a day or two, but I got to go up and down like the valley and hit like open mics and laundromats and you name it.
Open mic and a laundromat.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
That's the cleanest comedy you can come by.
You would be surprised on how wrong you are.
That was so hacky.
That was terrible. That was terrible.
I could imagine doing it at like the one in Kent where they have like a bar there and shit. That would be
Suds, or was it shit?
Like
I used to go there.
I thought it was like Laundry 101 or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it is. You're right. There was another one I remember.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, dude.
Don't know about that, Brandon.
Never knew about that.
Yeah, there's a laundromat and you can order drinks and shit.
I mean,
dude, I was there's actually two of them. There's two of them. There was one by the Ace, or not the Ace, but the Acme, that grocery store, and that one's beer. And the other one that's like over by Puff and stuff is like more whiskey and wine. And you just put your shit in. Yeah, and you just sit there. I had the GPS. Oh god, I'm sorry.
I was just kind of like blended those two together in my mind. I didn't realize there were two of them. So you said
I know it's wild. The funny thing I thought was I was on the GPS monitor, like I was on house arrest, and so I couldn't go to a bar or restaurant or anything like that. So I would go do my laundry at the laundromat that served alcohol. And I would spend like, oh man, I'm broke. I just spent $75 on laundry this week. And like I got a DUI on my way home.
Yeah, that Puffin stuff, that was always my favorite head shop right there.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
I didn't look far away.
Where was the first place you did comedy in Northeast Ohio?
The Grog Shop, December 3rd, 2017.
Okay. I like that venue a lot. I mean, I've only done comedy there once. It was right before COVID.
Was it when he had the DJ there and stuff too?
Yeah. It was right before COVID, and but I used to go to concerts there all the time. The Grog Shop, that was like my spot when I was like 19, 20 years old.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a fun spot. My cousins lived in Cleveland Heights. So anytime I visited up like in Ohio before I moved up here, I was always the Coventry, Cleveland Heights crowd. So like the Grog Shop, any scuzzy punk show that was going through there,
Yeah.
The 90s were pretty cool.
Yeah, the other place was Peabody's. Peabody's was like the big concert place back then. I saw a lot of good bands there.
Yeah, I saw Cottonmouth Kings there when I was in, or no, wait, yeah, it was probably like shortly after high school. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I don't remember any of it.
I saw Bone Thugs and Harmony there, and me and my buddy were the only two white people in the crowd. That was fun.
Was that when what's his face got arrested for that warrant?
Yeah,
Was that one?
Yeah,
I was there
yeah.
too. I was literally there too.
Well, I guess
we
there
were in
was
the
3 white
same
people in the
building.
crowd. No, it was pretty crazy. I don't know. I saw there was the coolest part about Peabody's. It was kind of dangerous, but there were these poles in the middle of the floor, and people would crowd surf for rock shows. And I've seen people just like slam their head into these like poles that hold up the fucking building. It's crazy.
Oh man, I'm remembering so many weird concert things now. When I was in high school, I came up here to see AFI with this girl that really liked,
God.
AFI. I didn't go see him by myself, obviously. They suck. But
Miss Murder's a good one, but beyond that,
actually, I mean, that's why they sucked though, is they kept going after the first 3 albums were so amazing, and then they came out with that. And anyway, I got really, really high on mushrooms for the very first time on the way there. And I got real hot. It was June and it was at the Agora, and there's people up in those balconies like shooting squirt guns and like throwing water. It was like 101 outside and like 400 in there. And I just remember I crowd surfed from the back all the way to the stage with no shirt on. But when I got up to like where the security guards pull you down, I had a fucking shirt on.
What, someone put a shirt on you?
I don't know how it happened. It was just like draped around my neck, like my arms weren't through it yet. But yeah, somehow or another, I acquired a shirt.
Damn,
that's so crazy. Why does so many things in your life seem like something that would happen to a member of a boy band? I don't.
Drugs.
Lost all his boy band potential and just turned to drugs. That's what it was.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I read. Oh,
Brandon's introduction.
It's one of my favorites, honestly.
It's
I like
always
how
a
he
good one.
changes it up, a little variety. Funny that you should mention that, though. Did you know that most of the Backstreet Boys were like crazy cokeheads? Just found this out.
Once you like Google them and you see a bunch of like mugshots and shit come up, you're like, oh my god, one of them has a neck tattoo now. This is nuts. Now I really want to go see them.
I mean, they look like they would be cokeheads. Nick Carter was just on the Masked Singer. Saw that.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I have never watched that show.
Dude, I watch sometimes with my parents, and the one that really disappointed me, because that's usually something that people do when their career's on like the bottom, and
as opposed to like the top in that relationship.
Yeah. And the last one, he got like eliminated, or maybe he won, I can't remember, but Aloe Black was on there, and I was like, Aloe Black fucking great, like what? Like he's like one of my favorite singers. I'm like, how is he on the Masked Singer?
You know what would make that show awesome is if they found a way to just like even make a hologram of someone look like they like reincarnated their dead body, and this had like dead star, like Amy Winehouse takes the mask off and she's just like all fucking like zombie looking and shit, and they're like Amy Winehouse, and everyone just goes fucking nuts.
Like that last bout of coke was really good. It brought her back from the dead. It was crazy.
We restarted her heart.
That'd probably be a good sketch, actually.
That would be kind of funny.
Her and Nikki Sixx are re-recording "Kickstart My Heart" now.
Yes. That is actually my dad's. Like how some like people are like, oh yeah, this is a song my dad always said was my song, So my dad, that and cat scratch fever, and both of them relate to medical ailments that happened to me as a child. And the doctor at one time said he has cat scratch fever. I'm like puking, I have a fever. I'm like, I was fucked up. And my dad's like, oh yeah, that song by Ted Nugent. And
He's
the
like, no,
doctor's
your
like,
kid's
no,
gonna
you fucking
die.
hillbilly. Like, and the other, I had fucking AFib, and they were like, oh, we're gonna cardiovert his heart back into a sinus rhythm. My dad's like, cool, and then you just hear his iPhone like in the background. It's like, wah, wah. I was like, Jesus.
I'm not gonna lie. I did not know cat scratch fever was a real thing. I just Googled it.
It is. Yeah,
I thought it was just a song and Ted Nugent.
so did I.
Idiot. Like I don't,
I think the doctors were probably pretty surprised too. Like,
Apparently, it's not that uncommon if like you have kittens, which was the case. I got scratched. You couldn't even see the scratch, but it was enough for me to have the fucking cat plague.
that's nuts.
what
Yeah.
was the remedy? Did they like give you like 2 weeks of antibiotics and a Fender Stratocaster, or like what was the deal?
No, the remedy was you wait 3 days and you feel better, and then you just spend the rest of your life killing cats.
Oh man.
Yeah,
And then you end up on the
which isn't.
Netflix. You end up on the Netflix show Don't Fuck with Cats after that.
Oh, I did, dude. I was shooting these fucking things from like long range. I was so pissed.
Oh man,
Just
I hated
getting revenge.
cats for a long time because I had the childhood dog who
Mm.
got in a fight with a cat and it, like put a hole in its ear. And he was like, he like came running back into the house. I was like probably I don't know like 8 or 9. He came running back into the house like blood gushing out of his ear. So that was my first experience with cats.
Did he look like a Chipotle worker with like a big gauge in his ear?
Could have gauged your dog's ear, son of a bitch.
That is something that Chipotle workers always have. I don't know.
Yeah, or dreadlocks. Sometimes they're interchangeable.
Yeah, as
You
long
never
as they
know.
don't have the vacated gauge, and the
Mm,
because that is
It's all just like hanging down.
it's disgusting, dude. It is
looks like
so
a
bad.
blown out cat's butthole.
You just change
Yeah.
your choice from chicken to steak immediately. You're like, I want no resemblance of that at all.
Yeah, it looks like
Right?
it looks like they were like on the edge. They were like on the edge of the radius for Chernobyl, but like only their ear got in, you know? It's I don't know.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
I
so
can't wait.
oh, go ahead.
Oh no, it's just you said Chernobyl, and I don't know why it made me think of restaurants, but um, I can't wait for restaurants to open back up so I can just go back to nice restaurants and just purposely mispronounce every name of every wine on the menu
Yeah, I hope there's
until
not a
until
restaurant
the
called
waiter gets
Chernobyl.
annoyed.
That's I don't think
Dude,
I'll go to that restaurant.
do you guys want to invest in a new restaurant?
Called
It's a
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl theme.
Cook
Yeah, it's a
everything with
theme.
nuclear
It's a
power.
theme.
Everything's
Everything's microwaved.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh yeah, I guess I'm an idiot. Fuck. That's just
Oh,
brew
man.
bakers. Just go to a brew bakers.
It's the same thing.
I worked
It's
there. We
basically
microwaved-
Applebee's.
Yeah. Brew bakers was where I worked was like when you made sandwiches, you put the buns on a panini grill and you stuck the meat on a plate and put it in the microwave, and that's how we made our hot sandwiches that everybody loved. I'm like,
Oh my god.
oh, they're so disgusting.
Well, awesome.
Yeah,
I see Cleveland just now got Canes, Raisin Canes.
yeah.
That place
up the
was
street
like a
from me.
staple down south.
There's been one
Yeah,
for a
it's
while.
awesome, dude. All they do is serve chicken strips with fucking bomb sauces.
Oh, they're
And
so
it's like
good.
the dude's probably a millionaire.
And they have like
Yeah.
actual Southern sweet tea. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's 35 pounds of sugar in one tea bag
Pretty much.
Yeah.
from the cook.
I do love those chicken fingers, man. I don't know how it's become such a staple that that's all they do, and now they're rich. I think maybe that's what everybody should do. From now on, if
I
you have a
mean,
restaurant, just do one thing.
if they did like a Raisin Cane's style thing and it was just Tony's chicken strips from the funny stuff,
Yeah,
I would
are they
go there
really
every
good.
day.
I might get some tonight.
Dude, they are so good. This is what you do. They always come with barbecue and ranch or whatever as their two dips. Or maybe it's just barbecue. I always say, hey, take that barbecue, just throw it away. I'll take ranch and hot sauce. And that's how you
Ooh.
do it. Then right before you go on stage, you have the like diarrhea cramp from hell and it just powers you through.
Yeah, man. Tony bet me $20 last night on the Brown Steelers game. He gave me 6 points, so I was like, I'll take it. I think it's gonna be a close game.
I think it's gonna be stupid either way. I hate pro football.
It's not as bad as college football. I have a big thing with college football because people root for like teams of colleges they didn't go to, and they're like
You
die
know,
hard
that's
about it. I'm like, what?
fair.
You know what I mean? Like, I got all these people in my neighborhood that are all giant OSU fans, and none of them even have like a high school diploma. So I'm like, what is in this for you? And they're like, well, it's Ohio, and I'm like, so you
Hold on.
can't root for like Cleveland
Wait,
State
what
or
were you
OSU?
saying? No, I can't. Hold on.
Oh, this is just to spite me, isn't it? I can tell.
Kind of. I mean, we had the same colors in college.
I can't
I
even
don't
see
think
what
they
that
like
is.
to be
Is
called
that
that. It's African American, as far
a,
as
that
I
a
know.
Georgia
But
Bulldog? Oh no, it's Notre Dame. Okay.
Excuse me, that's God's team.
this
Okay.
Notre Dame's actually like my second favorite college football team because I was brought up Catholic and it was brainwashed into me. So
I was brought up Catholic too, and what do you know? It was all a lie.
and I'll
Yeah,
see you
man.
all in hell. We're good.
We had an Irish Catholic priest, and he used to every Saturday whenever you would go to Saturday mass, if the Buckeyes were playing a night game, he would just like say "Go Irish" at the end of his sermon or whatever. It was pretty
Did I
cool.
ever tell you guys my Ohio State Buckeyes joke? It's like a dad joke. It's actually one of my dad's jokes. I can't even take credit for it, but it's great.
It's an official dad joke from Teddy Bruno. We got to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Papa Ted, Big Ted number one. So this guy's walking through this park in Columbus, and he goes past the bench, and he sees an OSU football hat sitting on the bench, and he's like, "Huh, weird." And he picks it up, and he like looks underneath it, and he sets it back down, and he does this like 4 times, and this guy finally walks over and goes, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?" He goes, "I'm confused." He said, "Obviously." He goes, "Dude, there's normally an asshole under one of these things."
Nah.
Oh
You
man.
can put it. You can interchange that with any team
Yeah.
or person
Yeah.
or band.
Pretty
I like
much.
to use Nickelback.
So my thing with Ohio State is I used to basically I had an obsessive fandom with Ohio State and all the Cleveland sports teams because I grew up in Texas, but my entire family was from here, and we used to come to Ohio every year for vacation. So Ohio was like my like home away from home kind of. And I formed an extreme attachment to him. And then I applied for Ohio State and didn't get in because I was an idiot in high school.
Yeah.
And I still root for them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like, man, that's like seeing some girl that rejected you in high school like marry someone, and you're like, good for her. You know, it's like I wish you well.
Yeah, I went down there. I went down there to party and shit whenever it was a while back. I think it was '07. It was right when I turned 21. Ohio State was number 1 and Michigan was number 2. And we went down there for that game, and it was just one of the best weekends of my life partying at a college campus. I mean, it was
Oh
crazy.
man, who doesn't like others?
They're nuts there, dude. And when Ohio State won, it was like the whole night until like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was just people like drinking in the streets and shit, and cops on horseback chasing people.
What the hell?
Like, it was a good time. I actually had a pretty embarrassing thing that happened to me that night. We were walking down High Street, and the street was like super busy with people walking. Cops were just like shoving people back on the sidewalk so they didn't get hit by a car. And I see this guy. I had to piss really bad, and I see this guy that looks like he's pissing on the side of this building. I'm like, oh, if this is getting away with it, I can get away with it. So I just go up to the building and I start pissing on the side of the building. And then I look over, and the guy was getting money out of an ATM. And just like started walked away, getting money out of the ATM, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm like looked around, I'm like, "I'm pissing on this building, and nobody else is."
I
And
don't
there
know why
was
I picture you at like the drive, like you're standing in front of some car at the drive-through ATM, and he's trying to get out of the way, and You're just standing there pissing, like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. It looked like you were pissing.
Oh man. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We'll have to let's get it started with our news segment here because we have a lot to get to for this week.
Uh-oh.
Pretty busy week in the news. We'll start with the negative and work our way positive, I think. So start out talking about the Capitol riots. And before we get there, I just want to say that, like, I mean, it's been very well documented now that this was basically a thing that was planned out on the internet for weeks. It was well known by our government, by the Capitol Police, and there were a lot of sounds like there were a lot of Trump sympathizers in the government and the Capitol Police that just kind of let it happen. So it's pretty fucked up. There were reports of Capitol Police on one side. We all saw the one side where they were like trying to hold him back, and then there was reports of Capitol Police on the other side, just like opening up the gate and letting people through. There were Capitol Police taking selfies with people. I mean, it's pretty crazy, but we'll start off with that. And then the other one was there were Capitol Police that gave directions to senators' offices that weren't marked. So it's pretty fucked up. But yeah, we'll start out with this
All
clip.
I care about is I want to know.
No, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think there's a delay. My headphones might be dying. There's like a delay or something. But I was just to say, all I'm really interested in is the rest of Nancy Pelosi's mail. I want to see these subscriptions. I want to know what she's into.
You're like, holy shit, Thrasher magazine. Damn, Nancy, you're cool.
I bet he ramped up.
Yeah, that dude's an idiot, and he's going to jail for sure.
Yeah.
They actually they arrested him last night, I believe. But this is from ABC News about the Capitol riots.
There is a nationwide manhunt underway tonight. The Fed studying those horrifying images and videos and already making arrests tonight. Here's our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas on that part of the story again tonight.
Tonight, federal authorities are determined to leave no stone unturned, ramping up efforts to bring all the Trump supporters who desecrated the Capitol to justice.
I figure, well, I'm in her office.
Richard Barnett, the man with his feet on a desk in Nancy Pelosi's office and who admits on camera to stealing from her,
I'll put a quarter on her desk.
arrested today in federal offenses. Also charged Lonnie Kaufman. Authorities claim they found in his truck near the Capitol an arsenal for arson. These 11 Molotov cocktails, along with handguns and an M4 carbine assault rifle like this one. And FBI officials announcing they arrested West Virginia State Delegate Derek Evans, who live streamed his breach on the Capitol. The FBI and U.S. Marshals hunting dozens more, including this man, suspected of planting pipe bombs at the nearby RNC and DNC headquarters. Trump supporters spraying police with chemicals and beating them with bats and metal pipes. Right-wing groups posting their sinister plans on social media for weeks. Inside the Capitol, rioters seen wearing shirts bearing slogans praising the Holocaust. And tonight, a federal murder investigation is underway into the death of Officer Brian Sicknick. Authorities trying to find out whether he was hit with a fire extinguisher or other heavy object. Sicknick's brother writing, after a day of fighting for his life, he passed away a hero. But as the chaos died down, protesters seen filing out calmly. The critical question, why weren't they arrested?
The fault, unfortunately, lies with the Capitol Hill Police.
Pierre Thomas back with us tonight up at the Capitol. And Pierre, we know that there has been some reporting that the president released that video overnight, calling his supporters intruders after having supported them only after some in his inner circle had warned him that he could be liable for his own words, potentially inciting some of what we saw. So where does it stand tonight? Could the president actually face charges?
Right now, the DOJ focus is on the people who broke into the Capitol. But the investigation is in the early stages, and questions about incitement will likely be for the incoming Attorney General, Merrick Garland.
Blue Lives Matter.
Wow.
Guys. Blue Lives Matter.
I think the real victim here. I think the real victim here is it's definitely the Jews that are the real victim here. I mean, they're wearing a supportive Holocaust T-shirt. They're probably like, haven't we had it bad enough? Like, for
Yeah.
fuck's sake, we thought you
I
guys hated the blacks. Now it's the Jews again.
you know, I think the funniest part about this
It was 100 years ago.
yeah, the funniest part about this is that if these people would have just been wearing masks, they might not be getting caught one by one
Yeah.
on camera right now. So
Yeah,
Trump,
were
once
these people
again-
vaccinated?
Yeah, no, they weren't. They
uh,
definitely weren't vaccinated.
I can't imagine any of these guys are like in the top tier. I don't think any of these people are medical doctors or anything like that.
Some of these people might have injected bleach at some
Wouldn't it be
point.
great?
I don't know.
I think the
They're-
police officer would have survived if they were doctors.
Yeah. yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Man, it's just crazy to me that like how hypocritical these people are. These are all the people that said this shit about Blue Lives Matter and all this shit, and then they're beating police officers with baseball bats. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, really, like. And then you have
Did-
people now defending this shit, and it's by saying, well, what about all Black Lives Matter protests and blah blah blah. It's like, dude, they destroyed like private businesses at and very few of them, but like this is the capital of our country that they're vandalizing, and it's a felony. And this state legislature from West Virginia is just like, I'm gonna live stream myself committing a felony. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not only do you want that guy out of office because he's committing that specific felony, but he's really bad at it. Like, I'm thinking if this guy's gonna do some shiesty shit in
Yeah.
office, I'm gonna need him to at least be good at it.
Yeah, dude. Because Trump actually, through executive order, made it a law that if you vandalize federal property, that you get an automatic 10-year prison sentence, because he wanted to stop people from vandalizing Confederate statues. So now that's going to come back to bite him in the
God
ass. And all
forbid.
these people, yeah, all these people are going to get 10 years of prison.
The bold irony.
Dude. I mean, they're like, why'd the cops just let him in? I was like, I don't know. They're outnumbered like 100-1. I'd
Yeah.
give him my keys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's
Not dying over to this.
oh, you're cutting out there for a minute. Here's
I might be dying here. Let me see. We're good.
He is right, though. I mean, it does get to a point where, like, even if they all decided, like, hey, we're all just going to stand together and not let this crowd in, I imagine eventually the crowd was probably going to get in. I mean, there was a lot of calls for, for backup that were just kind of ignored from what I was seeing in the news. And a lot of people said that, they weren't sending in anybody right away, and at least till a couple hours after they'd already breached the Capitol. So I imagine they would have gotten in, but you still see all these videos of the police officers moving barricades and just letting them. And I'm not saying you should just like invite them in. Maybe stall.
I
little
am.
bit. Yeah,
I'm,
fuck it.
I'm saying open house.
I would at least-
reward.
You couldn't treat it like a college frat party where you charge $5 for everybody going in. I mean, we could have probably paid off a lot of shit by doing that. Like, if they're gonna go vandalize it anyway, you could have just put them in a line and had them pay for things.
I just love
Van
how
Wilder approach.
yeah.
The bar way to do it.
I just love how Mike Pence has been such a good, loyal little bitch to Trump this entire
He's a
time.
spineless pussy.
He's been such a loyal little bitch to Trump this entire time. And then Trump, the day that he's supposed to certify this shit, is Michael Pence isn't doing what I want him to do. And all these rioters are like, "Where's Michael Pence? Like, we're gonna kill Michael Pence." It's like, dude, he's been like loyal as fuck for 4 years. Like, what?
Yeah, you didn't
He's
see
in the
that for
bunker.
Barr. Barr was like, Trump, you're full of shit. And like nobody did anything about it. You don't see rioters anywhere around that guy.
No, they and the guy was like, the guy wanted like that one guy. They're still obsessed with Nancy Pelosi. Like that guy like stole her mail because he wanted like a keepsake of her office. Like
What
That's
else
fucking
did he
weird.
do?
Right?
yeah, right.
He left
He's got
a quarter.
beginning.
You heard him say he left a quarter on the desk. I don't know what that means
No,
or
he took a
anything.
quarter off. off the desk.
Oh,
That
he
was him
took the cord.
admitting to stealing.
But yeah,
Why?
yeah, I don't know. But what you were saying, Brandon, about the backup and shit, I saw an interview with Larry Hogan, the governor of Maryland, and he said that he had the Maryland National Guard ready to go, and they had to wait a half hour to get approval from the Pentagon. So it was like there were people within the government purposely stalling to let this happen. Like it was
Yeah.
so it's just because they're Trump sympathizers, and that's what with the Capitol Police, the ones that like let people go or gave people directions to certain offices, and were taking selfies and shit. And all these people were like, "Well, if these people were black, they would have been shot." It's an yeah, but if they were white supporting a black cause, they also would have been shot. The big thing is that these people are Trump supporters, and the majority of police are Trump supporters. So they're
So I do have a cool stance on that last comment, and I believe you that most of them are. But my cousin, he's young, he's probably 20. I think I want to say he's 25, 25, 26. He is a white police officer on the east side of Cleveland. He's married to a black woman, and they have two daughters. Okay,
yeah.
and like when I say white, I'm talking like liquid paper white out white, blonde hair, blue eyes, white. Looks like MGK in a Cleveland PD uniform. Lots of tats and shit. But so he's like the opposite of a Trump supporting police officer. And it's crazy, dude. Like I've been out with him before. He had his like Cleveland FOP shirt on. Some like black kid will come up and just be like, "Yo, fuck you, yeah, you're a piece of shit. You're racist." He's like, "Yeah, I'm racist. Hey, honey, come on, let's go." And then his fucking black wife and daughter run over, and he's like, "See you later," And it's so funny to me because it's like a stigma now.
Yeah. It
Right?
definitely is, man. And not everybody and not everybody in a profession is going to be the same. I mean, it's just you're going to have shitty people in every profession, just like you had that pharmacist from Minnesota or Wisconsin or whatever that like destroyed 500 vaccines or whatever because he believed in the vaccine conspiracies and shit. It's like you're going to have crazy conspiracy people like in every single profession that you're in. But you just hope that they're not trying that those people aren't protecting the capital of the United States. I don't know. It's just that is something.
I don't think anybody was.
No,
Yeah,
no,
actually,
and
nobody was protecting it.
yeah, and the reason for that is obvious: is that they wanted it to happen. There were Trump supporters within the Pentagon and the Capitol Police that let it happen. Because if you look at the Black Lives
The way I
Matter,
look at it,
I mean, you look at the Black Lives Matter protests when they had like National Guardsmen on every single step of the Capitol,
yeah,
like all the way through.
and if you look at the aerial picture from the Black Lives Matter rally in DC, they're not even like, they're like all the way around the whole Capitol like compound. They're like 2 blocks away all the way around.
Yeah,
Like you see little fires burning like through the city, but nothing around the Capitol.
yeah, dude, they might close off. They might close off like a 20-block radius for the inauguration.
They already did. I sent you something on Facebook Messenger about that lady that got shot there, and then this is like a picture of the Capitol building with it looks like a prison yard fence around it.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's crazy.
It just came up on BBC.
Yeah, that lady that got shot, man, she'd written some pretty crazy shit on her social media, like
Yeah.
you were gonna be stopped and blah blah. I'm like, how do people get this brainwashed? How do people? I've never loved a politician that much to
No.
where I'm gonna
I've
go
never
commit
met
a felony.
anybody that much.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to commit a felony for anybody, let alone a politician. Like,
This is
I mean,
pretty David
I'll
Koresh
commit a
style.
felony for a very few dollars and little reason, but
Yeah.
not in the name of anybody for sure. Except for Allah.
I've committed some before, but all drug related.
Yeah. You know, the one thing I really don't understand either is right after everything happened, they sent out the news bulletin that said Congress is, meeting again together at this time in this place. And I'm thinking, like, why would you tell them that
Yeah.
everything's resuming and where
Yeah.
it's resuming at. Wasn't that the issue in the first place?
Well, whenever they resumed, they had like National Guard surrounding the place. I mean, there was no penetrating it at that point. But yeah,
I think I'd have been like,
They resumed on Zoom.
yeah, I would hope.
They just
I'd have-
resumed.
I fail to see
from the
why you
bunker.
couldn't have done that, or I'd have probably said, hey, why don't we do this at like a Denny's or something? And they're not going to expect us to be there.
yeah, dude.
They
I
might
was
have
listening
better
to some of
security.
I was listening to some of the daily news podcasts on Friday, and it was like reporters that were inside of the Senate chamber and shit whenever it happened, and that shit sounded scary as fuck. Like, I mean, like,
Yeah, right?
like they just heard people banging on doors all of a sudden. That the House chamber, like they basically locked them inside the House chamber, and there were people banging on doors. And the House security came out and told everybody to get their gas masks that were underneath their seat and shit. Like, so they said all you saw was like people in gas masks and like the humming of the gas mask for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was reading about somebody that was in there, and they were like breaking off like legs of chairs and stuff like that to use as weapons, and this was going to be like the fight to save their own asses and stuff like that. I was like, oh my god, this sounds like Call of Duty. This sounds like Nazi zombies or something.
yeah, and
Ironically,
go ahead.
my computer must know my algorithm by now really well, because this little pop-up just came up on my sidebar, and it says BBC Real, the Dutch girls who seduced and killed Nazis.
Hi, I want to know about that.
Yeah, that's
I do too. I'm like, I want to watch this.
BBC's the
fucking thing.
shit.
yeah, and the whole thing with they said that Trump might have incited the riot. Trump incited the riot. Okay, he knew about this because everybody knew about this that was going on, that it was planned, that they were gonna try to break into the Capitol, and he said at the end of his speech, "It's time to go to the Capitol," and and like
He's
so
on
he-
like go take back the government or something, or
yeah,
and Don Jr. gave like a 35 swear word speech right on Fox News. They had to cut him short.
Rudy Giuliani said we need trial by combat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're like, no, we didn't incite any of this. We have
Yeah,
no
Giuliani's definitely, I think, unless Trump pardons him,
He's lost
gonna
his
get-
mind.
to go to prison for inciting a riot.
Giuliani's crazy as fuck.
Yeah, his own daughter is like, he's lost his mind. He's nuts. I don't know my father anymore.
Did you see the picture? Did
Yeah,
you see the picture where he's like yelling, his fucking hair dye is dripping down his face and shit? Looks
yeah.
crazier than
So
fuck.
And the grossest part was he like blew his nose into his rag and then wiped his face with the same rag. And I'm thinking like someone's got to stand next to you for the next 5 minutes while you talk about shit that you're nasty. That's gross.
Dude, I mean, this just goes back to my whole point of not wanting to live past like 50, because you start forgetting, you do crazy things, you smell bad, you look like a fucking idiot when you're on television doing things like that. Like, I mean,
that's not supposed to happen until you're 50.
no, that's when I just always planned on it. Like if I knew I was gonna live as long as I did already, I would have taken better care of myself. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. Yeah,
I'm on borrowed time.
yeah. Well, I mean, now I'm on noon and shit, trying to get myself into shape and get healthy. But this, I definitely would have taken better care of myself. But this next clip, this is Shep Smith from the Shep Smith Show on CBS, and these are words that I think a lot of people have been waiting to hear for a long time.
You will never again see a tweet from President Trump. A short time ago, the company suspended him forever. Here's what his account looks like right now. 88 million people following, nothing. Everything he's ever tweeted or retweeted, removed. The company issued a statement explaining the decision was made due to the risk of further incitement of violence, following a review of recent tweets from the president. One of those tweets announced that he will not attend Joe Biden's inauguration. The other called his voters great patriots. Twitter sees both of those tweets as likely to replicate the criminal acts that took place on Capitol Hill. The suspension on Twitter, just the latest blow to a president facing growing calls to step down and threats to throw him out. Even the Wall Street Journal conservative editorial board saying it is best for everyone, himself included, if he goes away quietly. A rebuke in a paper owned by Rupert Murdoch, the founder of Fox News. In the last 72 hours, a wave of administration officials has stepped down. The departures, symbolic gestures largely for many who had stood by and defended the president throughout his term. Among them, the Education Secretary, Betsy DeVos, the Transportation Secretary, Elaine Chao, and former Acting Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney. NBC News reports his close aide, Hope Hicks, also resigning next week, but that her decision was planned before Wednesday's assault on democracy.
It's crazy, man. No more Trump on Twitter.
He's probably
So,
losing his mind.
I was
right
just
now.
looking at that.
Yeah.
He is furious in this photo.
Donald Trump Jr. Tweeted, "Free speech is under attack. Censorship is happening like never before. Don't let them silence us. Sign up at donjr.com to stay connected." And I tweeted him back what I think about that. Free speech applies to the government, not private companies, dumbass. Twitter has the right to ban anyone they want for any reason.
They're a private company.
Yeah, especially whenever they've warned him like literally 100 times. I mean,
Like,
they
in their
post. They
Like,
would have
there
banned
was-
anyone else a long time ago.
He actually, as soon as he got deleted, it says that he was tweeting from the POTUS account.
Yeah, and then they
Like
suspended
the one that he wouldn't use.
it. Yeah, they basically suspended it too until Joe Biden takes it over. So
That's hilarious.
Oh man. Do you think Joe Biden's gonna be like the new Wendy's of Twitter? Like he's just gonna come out of the gate and try to fill Trump's shoes with just like witty sarcasm and satire.
I would appreciate that.
That would be great, but I don't think so. I think what's actually going to happen, and it's going to be amazing, is we're going to have a slow news week eventually. Like, like that is what I've been waiting for 4 years. Like, give me a week where there's no bad news from the government.
I can't wait for it all to go back to just regular old robberies and murders like we used to have in the good old days. you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Right?
I don't want to hear about little kids being locked in cages or or what the fuck ever else. A lot of
Dude, lock your kids in your cages on your own time. We don't need to hear about it. We got our own kids in cages.
Exactly. Well, we'll go to a little bit better news out of Georgia this week that kind of got overshadowed by the whole Capitol riot thing. But this from CBS this morning, and Teddy, you'll appreciate this because it has to do with a Jew doing something good.
Lost in the chaos yesterday was the fact that Democrats are now set to take control of the U.S. Senate after winning both Senate runoff elections in Georgia. Senior national correspondent Mark Strassman, more from Atlanta.
We got it!
A noisy victory lap for Georgia Democrats Tuesday after handing Republicans a double defeat.
It's about time we had someone in Washington who's thinking about ordinary people. And so I can't wait to get to work for them.
Whether you were for me or against me, I'll be for you in the U.S. Senate.
Warnock will be Georgia's first black senator. Ossoff will be the state's first Jewish senator. At 33, he's the youngest elected U.S. senator since Joe Biden. Both Republican candidates led at 11 p.m. on election night, but Metro Atlanta, increasingly progressive, was the game changer. At 11:18 p.m., DeKalb County reported nearly 166,000 votes, catapulting Warnock into the lead. And a few hours later, Ossoff joined him. Neither Democrat trailed again. While neither Republican candidate has conceded their race, one of Georgia's top Republican election officials said both Democrats appear to have enough votes to avoid a recount.
While Republicans were busy attacking the governor and my boss, the Democrats were out there knocking on doors and getting people to turn out to vote.
Gabriel Sterling is the chief operating officer in the Secretary of State's office. He blames President Trump for the GOP's loss after the president spent weeks spreading baseless claims of election fraud.
There's no way we lost Georgia. There's no way.
When you say your vote doesn't count, then you have people who are, you laid your hands on, say, these are my people, who say, don't come and vote. then you spark a civil war within a GOP that needed to be united to get through a tough fight like this.
Neither of these Democrats has ever held public offices before. Neither of the Republicans they beat has conceded.
I love that last part. Neither of the Republicans have conceded. No, I thought it was cool. A lot of credit for those wins goes to Stacey Abrams and Latasha Brown, who works with Black Voters Matter. They the black vote turnout was like higher than it's ever been in any state, which is pretty crazy. But Stacey Abrams wrote this on the day of the Capitol riot. She said, "While today's terrible display of terror and meanness shakes us, let's remember at Ossoff, a Jewish son of an immigrant, and at Reverend Warnock, first Black senator from Georgia, will join a Catholic POTUS and the first woman / Black and Indian vice president in our nation's capital. God bless America." And that to me is like, it's something that during all this chaos that's happening, there's actually a little bit of progress happening as well. I mean,
Yeah.
we do have an old white guy as president still, but but we have a Black and Native American vice president, and we have a Jewish person and a Jewish man and a Black man who won the Senate office in Georgia, which is insane.
Georgia did a 180 for sure. I mean,
Yeah, they're still purple.
I mean,
they're pretty much a blue state now, man. It's crazy.
I think purple might be a bad choice of words. Georgia's not that, like, I mean, the outskirts, like the rural areas of Georgia, I suppose, are probably southern, like stereotypical or whatever. But Atlanta's filled with like Black gays, like they're everywhere. You know what I mean? Like it's like a big part of their demographic. They've almost like shaded out the red in that state with just like the liberal younger folks that are moving there, like because of it being like a kind of like a cultural hotspot right now, literally hot.
There were some Ossoff did get less votes than Warnock though, so there were still some people that were like, I would rather vote for David Perdue, a piece of shit, than a Jew. That's basically. I mean, so
it's a tale as old as time.
It's just weird to me when that happens. Like they're on the same ballot. Like how do you vote? How do you vote for one Democrat and one Republican when the two Republican candidates are pretty much the exact same people? Like, you know, I mean, they were both like far right, like saying that the election was fraud and all this shit. Like, I just don't see how that happens. How you vote for one and not the other. But
I just hate how that's
the thing
becoming
that
the norm.
really, the thing that really always like makes me wonder is like the hatred of the Jews. You know what I mean? Like, is it because of the Jesus thing? Is it because we killed him?
It's so dumb, man. It's just I do joke about it a lot, but it is the dumbest. Like anti-Semitism is like the dumbest shit ever. Like
especially because like technically, no matter what religion you are, if you follow theology in any way, it all stems back to the oldest recorded religion.
Yeah, we know
Judaism.
Jews are responsible for everything. We know. All right.
They run Hollywood.
No, they're not responsible for everything. Like there's a lot of bad things that happen that they have nothing to do with.
Yeah. No, but that's
like the banks.
I don't understand. That's what I don't understand. Like, it's always been so weird to me. Like, most of the people that hate Jews, like they're not Christians. So, like, what reason do they have to hate Jewish people? I don't.
Well, Muslims don't like Jews because they're Muslims, and they don't like anybody who's not Muslim.
Yeah.
It's like, plus they're neighbors. Pete told me one time after I came off stage, he came and he goes, "Teddy, are you really Jewish?" And I said, "Well, some of me." And he goes, "You know, it's funny. I love Jews, and I'm an Arab."
Oh, that's great.
You just had to say it. You had to. You couldn't help. It was almost like that thing that most like really Jewish people have, that urge to just like, if someone brings up like, Miles Davis, like, oh, he's Jewish, like, or like, it's just like that.
We get it. Lenny Kravitz, we know.
Right.
Yeah.
Lenny Kravitz.
We have oh God, never mind. I'm not gonna talk about that. We had
He should be a Jewish woman. Make a play for me.
There's this female comic who's a little bit Jewish, and she tweeted out something like, I'm the type of girl you bring home to your parents if they're not racist, or something like that. And I replied to her, yeah, my parents love Lenny Kravitz. But yeah, we'll get into, we have our non-politics story of the day, which we all do one. And it's the Browns in the playoffs, first time in 18 years. It's been pretty crazy, and of course it's been a terrible week. We lost Denzel Ward last week. He's not going to be back for the game because of COVID. And then we had Joel Bitonio, our Pro Bowl left guard, and our head coach Kevin Stefanski both test positive for COVID this week, so they won't be able to participate in the game.
I mean, it's not like it's AIDS.
Yeah.
Yeah. My argument was just give the guy a controller and let him coach from home like Madden.
Well, I don't understand why. I don't get why they can't. There's only going to be 2,500 people in Heinz Field because they're only doing friends and family. And I don't understand why they couldn't find a way to get him to a booth and let him call plays from the booth, because there are plenty of coaches in the NFL that call plays from upstairs in a booth.
Why don't they just vaccinate everybody and let them all in?
By now, yeah.
Because stupid Roger Goodell promised that they wouldn't jump in line, I guess. I don't know.
Well, everybody else in our city is jumping in line if they have at least $1,500. In fact, every doctor that I know of has not been on that list, but magically got their vaccine already.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, I mean, doctors should probably have it, though, right? I don't know.
Well, I mean, some doctors, but not like a pain management doctor who doesn't see patients, or a radiologist. You don't need it yet.
I didn't know those things still existed. They still have pain management doctors?
Yeah, it's where people get their legal drugs. It's like the only place you can get a Percocet these days.
I didn't know. I thought Percocets were like Quaaludes now. I didn't know they were still around. No.
Oh, fuck. I'm old now. I'm 31. I gave up Percocets. I'm looking for that Ambien. You find me an Ambien dealer, I'm on it.
I just want to get away with a racist tweet or two and just blame it on the Ambien.
I never could take Percocets. I got sick off of them, so I was subbed when I got pain pills. But we got way off topic. Going back to the Browns in our negative week, they were doing the predictions for the NFL games this week on the NFL Network, and Kyle Brandt had this to say, and it was pretty great. Listen to it.
Cleveland, I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's the postseason. Not everybody can come to work. You're scared of losing because you're not on the job. Your chances are nickels worth. The roster's going bust. Odds makers are saying you're done. They're running wild on the internet. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do. There's no end to it. We know. They say you're Cleveland. In the playoffs, your air is unfit to breathe. Your food is unfit to eat. And you sit watching your TVs while some sportscaster tells you that today you had 15 new positive cases and 63 different reasons you're going to lose because of it. And if that's the way it's supposed to be, we know things are bad. They're worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everywhere, everything is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and we slowly, the world we're living in, getting smaller and smaller, and all we say is, please, let us live alone in our living rooms. Let me have my phone and my TV and my Netflix, and I'll just be happy we made the playoffs, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. I'm not gonna leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to the commissioner because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the pandemic and the protocols and how to beat the Chiefs. All I know is that first you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, damn it. My life has value. So I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window and open it and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not losing to the Steelers anymore. Browns 24, Steelers 23. Yeah!
You sure
First
that
of all,
guy
who
didn't
brought
incite the
Gallagher
Capitol
in
riot? Yeah.
If that
I'm
doesn't get,
mad
that
as
guy doesn't
hell.
get pumped, I don't know what will, right?
Wow.
I
That
would
just
follow
made me
that guy
not
in
want
the
to
battle.
watch the game.
And then they have a bunch of Browns fans on Twitter like retweeting them and posting a video of them shouting out their window.
It looks
I'm
like
mad
a
as hell.
it looks like a JG Wentworth commercial.
It's my playoff and I need it now.
Well, dude, and then I don't know if you guys follow that closely, but did you see Juju Smith-Schuster, who can't quit, the receiver for the Steelers, who can't quit like screwing up and motivating other teams, said in his media coverage the other day when he was asked about playing the Browns, yeah, they're the same Browns team we play every year, and no, they're not. They're 11-5. They're not the same Browns team you play every year. And then he said, yeah, they've got some good players, but at the end of the day, the Browns is the Browns. Like,
Wouldn't it be funny if there was a coaches meeting that got recorded and you just see the coach walk into the room, the other guys are sitting there kind of bummed out, and it's like right before the game, and they're like, hey guys, you know what? We can't hold anything back. Could be the last game. Let's try to win it. And they're like, God damn it, that's crazy enough to fucking work. And that's all it took.
I saw somebody took that scene from Major League when they're talking about when they're like win the whole damn thing or whatever, that whole scene.
Yeah.
And they just like pasted Browns players' heads on the Indians players' heads. It was pretty funny. But yeah, I think the Browns are gonna win tomorrow. I bet Tony $20. That's I think I'm gonna take $20 for Tony.
Man, then you'll have to host a wedding.
Are you guys
and
playing
you
on the
pay it
odds?
back?
Yeah, he gave me 6 points. That's, yeah. Dude, I didn't realize how much those guys bet on stuff, man. They're like constantly.
They love to gamble.
Yeah, constantly checking sports scores and shit. And
Yeah. Pete likes to go down to Mountaineer.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah.
He was the one day he was like yelling in his phone for a football score or whatever, like trying to get Google. Yeah, trying to get Google to fucking find a football score for him. So he's like yelling into his Google Talk or whatever, and it's like, dude, the thing can't understand you. There's no way. There's no way.
Can you
Nothing
imagine?
Understands you.
Well, dude,
Can you imagine if
doesn't
his
understand
Google assistant? Imagine if his Google assistant was a person, and like how fucking emotionally scarred and traumatized it would be. Just like if you're getting yelled at by Pete for years every day, like just beat down by Pete. Like it's just like a little person rocking back and forth in a bathtub with no water in it, like just fucking just crying.
Pete's just telling them they should quit comedy over and over again.
I wish Pete was the Google Assistant voice. You know how happy I'd be just to ask it questions and have it just yell things at me that I don't understand.
I think we could make that happen.
I don't see why not.
There's some licensing in there, but we would have to have him sign some documents.
He can make money.
Dude, that would be fucking great. Just set it on people's phone as a joke so they don't understand any of it and they're just confused and like sad now and they don't know why.
I asked my Alexa for the weather and it told me to go fuck myself and quit comedy.
You're not funny.
Like I wasn't trying to be. I was asking for the weather.
See, that's your problem right there. You weren't trying to be funny. You're supposed to be funny.
You go home. You're no good. Quit comedy.
You're not allowed to the club anymore.
We'll get to Teddy's comedian that inspired him to do comedy. Mark Norman. He's from New Orleans, right?
Yeah. He is. He's like their prodigal son, number 150,000.
And is it just like his? Is it just like his like cadences, or is it like his writing, or what?
It's like he like other comedians, like famous comedians will say like he's like one of the hardest working comics. Like he's at a show every single night. I mean, he's young, he has no family and shit. Like, you know, I mean, what else is he gonna do except, you know, either do comedy or probably kill himself? So he was like just working all the time. So when you see him on stage, that cadence and those pauses and that awkward kind of like, is he joking or like the something unexpected kind of fucking thing? I love it.
I love every time I've seen him. He always walks up on stage and goes, "So comedy, yeah."
Yeah, comedy. I love it.
We'll play this clip. This is from Conan O'Brien. This actually has my favorite Mark Norman joke in it, and that joke gets an applause break in this clip. So this is from Conan. I don't know what year.
Hey, comedy, huh? All right, good to be here. Sorry, a little hungover. Went out last night with a friend. He's like a beer expert, you know, one of these guys like, we gotta go to a brewery. I'm like, why can't we just go to a bar? He's like, it's fun. You can see how it's made. I don't care how it's made. Look, I like porn. I don't need to go to a broken home. Not saying all porns aren't broken home, just the ones I like. Yeah, my friend's a gay guy. He's obsessed with straight dudes. That's like his thing. He's like, I love flipping a hetero. He's like, you know how hard that is? You know how hard it is to go out there every night, see a bunch of people you want to have sex with who don't want to have sex with you? I was like, that's exactly what it's like being a straight guy. What the hell are you talking about? I would argue it's just as hard for me to sleep with a woman as it is for you to flip a hetero. He was like, no. You got to take them out for hours, convince them. Yeah, same here. He's like, no. Even if you do pull it off, which is like a miracle, they feel horrible after. Yeah, same thing. We went back and forth for hours, arguing about this all night, back and forth. Eventually, I woke up at his place. Oh, yeah. I'm not gay. I got a girlfriend. She's cool. I'm surprised she's still with me because I always say the wrong thing. Like on our first date, she was like, you know, I feel very brave tonight. I was like, why is that? Because I'm not wearing any makeup. I was like, how's that brave? Because I'm being my true self, being the real me. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, you should be brave. I'm like, yeah, maybe I will. She's like, what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to stop pretending this is interesting. She was like, wow, I can't believe you just said that. I was like, yeah, it took guts. It's good to be with somebody because those dating apps, those aren't fun, you know? Every girl would always ask me how tall I was. You ladies are all a bunch of filthy height supremacists. Yeah? You're 6 feet? You ever 6 feet? I felt bad. I felt like I had to come up with something. I was like, well, no, but if it helps, I'm still growing as a person. I didn't know we could ask physical stuff out of the gate. I was like, how much do you weigh? She was like, whoa, that's body shaming. It's hard for me to lose weight. Well, it's harder for me to gain height. You know, we've been talking about women's issues a lot now, which is good. One issue I'm surprised doesn't come up is I feel like women are getting screwed in the orgasm department. I feel like men are having way more orgasms than women, and that sucks. People talk about the wage gap. The orgasm gap is out of control, right? You gals are getting 77 cents to the boner. Like, if a woman had to have an orgasm to get pregnant, there'd be like 2 people here. And you get nothing for your orgasm. Like, if a guy has an orgasm, go get pregnant, carry a baby for 9 months, deliver the baby, then breastfeed the baby. And all the guy to do is this. And he tried really hard not to do that. It's a horrible setup for the woman. The guy has all the fun, the girl has all the work. That'd be like if I ate a whole chocolate cake and the girl gained weight, and she went to the gym and I got buff. But you guys are nice. A lot of crowds very sensitive now, you know? Everybody went and got upset about words. I got yelled at the other night. This guy goes, hey, buddy, that's a trigger word. I was like, whoa, I think it's pronounced trigger. Easy there, big fella. Yeah, you can't talk about much. Racial jokes, that's hard to pull off. Let's try one. White privilege. You hear about that a lot now, white privilege. But I thought it was all about diversity. So shouldn't we talk about everybody's privileges? Why are we just limiting it to whitey? Let's spread the love. Let's make every group feel good. Everybody's got something. Tall people, privilege, see at a concert. Jews, no hell. Pretty good, pretty good. Women, ladies' night, that's cool. Black people, I can't wear a purple suit. Looks like fun. Everybody's got a perk. Indian people, even if you're undateable, your parents will arrange something. Huh? Let's spread the love. But I'm a white guy, so if I talk about race, inevitably another white person will call me racist. That's like what we do now, Like, you don't even know me. It's quite an accusation, That's an important word. You got to take the teeth out of it, Like, I was on the subway recently. I was watching an interracial couple make out. I was just staring at them. And the guy next to them caught me. He goes, "What the hell? I see you staring at them. What are you, racist?" I was like, "What? Racist? No, I'm a creep." What are you talking about? I'm hard. I'm not a racist. I'm aroused. He was like, "Wow, who talks like that?" I'm like, "Well, I'm pretty brave." Thanks a lot. I'm Kevin Hart.
I like how he does that at the end of most of his sets I've seen too. He goes, "Thanks a lot. I'm Kevin Hart."
Actually, a couple of times now, I've actually said, "Thanks, guys. You've been awesome. I've been Anthony Mayo." Just as my tip of the hat,
That's pretty funny. Yeah, man. That was I saw that joke that got the applause break. I saw that the first time on This Week at the Comedy Cellar, and I was dying laughing. But I went to go see him with our buddy Ray DeVito. I went to go see him with Ray, and
Ray.
He was fucking killer at hilarities, man. It was.
I bet.
I'll probably go back and see him every time he's in town.
He's one of my favorites. I'm actually really pissed off. I was too slow on the draw to get tickets for Chad Daniels tonight. He's one of my that's probably was my second that I was gonna go with. That dude is he's just hilarious. He has this bit where he's like kids, and he's like, every time I talk about kids or a toddler and like a 10-year-old, I literally just hold a press conference in my house. Like, I pull out a little podium, they have little notepads. Yeah, first question. Yeah. It's a fucking magnet. Okay, move on.
Yeah.
All right.
I love that bit so much.
Yeah. I
It
haven't
just sticks
seen
to the
much of Jeff
fridge.
Daniels. I've seen little clips of him and stuff, but I don't think I've seen a full special of him or anything.
Yeah, he's fun. Speaking of specials, did you see Mark Norman's new special, like the Out to Lunch one?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of those jokes you were just reading, like anyway.
Yeah, he did most of them at Hilarities when I saw him. It was I don't know, that one was really good. I thought the best two specials of the year were both specials that nobody wanted to pick up, so they put them out on YouTube, and that was Mark Norman and Sam Morril. That they had two of the best.
They still monetized them off of them though, like with YouTube. YouTube's not, like it used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pay for YouTube now.
Yeah, that's true. They have YouTube Red and YouTube TV and all kinds of shit, but
all sorts of stuff no one wants to pay for.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna eventually have a Patreon, I think, maybe with some extra episodes or something. So we'll see.
Behind the scenes, that rare uncut, like Brandon not washing his hands, leaving the bathroom footage.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get dirty.
Yeah, I mean that, or I was thinking, I don't know, we'll see. We were thinking about doing some special stuff, like some Friends episodes or something, and having like two other comics on just the bullshit basically. And I don't know, I think that'd be cool for people to listen to.
Maybe we could do some comedy games.
Yeah, that just gave me an idea for the springtime. We should have the first annual comedy games, and it'll mainly be drinking games, but it'll have to be held in a public park.
Ooh, I like this already.
I want to have a golf outing, and I think that would be fun.
On a putt-putt course, but we all bring drivers and irons.
And we have to blow over the limit before we're allowed to putt. That's gonna be.
It's got
yeah.
All right.
Go-karts. I like that one too.
Like
I
this
gotta go.
idea.
I gotta go hop on another podcast, so we gotta get out of here. But yeah, but this is a good episode. And Teddy, you got anything you want to promote?
Yeah, actually I do. I forget. Oh, this tomorrow, Jokes on You at Hilarities is gonna be doing the 51st jokes, right? The 10th.
I
Okay.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm supposed to be on that. And then the 14th, 22nd, and the 30th, I have shows, and I put them on my social media because I mean, I can tell you where they are, but it's kind of hard to remember the dates and where, and I'm just high, so I can't.
Well,
So
at least tell them where to follow you on social media, Teddy. There you go.
Oh man, it's Teddy Bruno _comedy. It looks very ambiguous, and it doesn't worry about pronouns. It's more about the adverbs. You know what I mean?
Like it. Like it. You can follow me as always at John Brown Comedy. I am doing something coming up. Oh yeah, the 29th and 30th, I'll be co-featuring with Carter Doherty for Mike Paramore at the Funny Stop. So
The 30th, aren't you with me at the West Theater?
yeah, I'm not doing that one. I got a paid gig, so I'm not I'm not doing a guest set at the West Theater, but
fair.
And I'll be at Brandon's spot, Grindstone, next Friday.
15th.
Very good lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, I am there as well. Yeah.
Cool. Hell yeah.
And I'm hosting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else is on that?
Little menage a trois.
I think Precious is on that. Let me double check. I got the flyer somewhere.
I just had it in front of me.
Scott's on it. That's right.
Dubs on it.
Mayo. Yeah, so it's gonna be a brown petri dish lineup, kind of, I guess.
Hell yeah! And then we got the other show at the
Oh,
McAlpine Meadery on the 22nd.
Here you go.
What's that one?
The McAlpine
That's what I was just
Meadery.
about to pitch. Yeah.
Yeah, Teddy and I are on that one.
Cool. I have
Dude,
no idea.
I'm looking at this flyer right now. It says Teddy Bruno with special guests. Does that signify any importance?
That's kind of what I was wondering.
What? I did not look
figured-
at this flyer before.
The
I
one
figured you would know more than I would.
The one for the meter you want or whatever.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be me and Mickey. Me and Mickey were supposed to split the headliner spot 25, like 20 minutes each.
Oh
like
yeah,
a
I heard about you guys doing that.
But he wrote the flyer like weird. It actually says Teddy. Then the special guests were Brandon, John Huff, who's been doing comedy longer than all of us have been alive.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why he's down there. Eric McCormick, he's putting on a show. He's the producer of it, I believe. And then Mickey's at the bottom. So I'm not
And it's
sure.
all in the same font that the Sunday Stage used.
Dude, it looks very Sunday Stage-ish. You know?
Kind of thought you had a hand in the flyer at first.
I did not. Like, I'm just now looking at it like going, oh man, I should have wrote down some of these details.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon, do you want to give out your socials and I'll edit this together and make it sound like an ending? I don't know.
Hell yeah. My socials are Brandon Petrie on Facebook and Petra Fried Comedy on just about everything else.
All right, cool.
Don't forget your OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Teddy Bruno _69. That's my OnlyFans.
Hit me up on my private Snapchat, $2 a day.
I don't doubt that. Oh man. All right.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's been awkward.
Always,
yeah,
man.
I gotta go to the bathroom and then do a podcast I don't want to do.
All right.
Should be fun. Yeah, Ray and what's his name, Danko. I don't know. It's something to do. Whatever.
Make sure to
You should
record yourself going to the bathroom for our Patreon.
What the hell is that?
It's the bad signal.
Someone asking about my warranty on my car, I assume that I sold. I don't even have that.
That's your phone vibrating?
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah,
like-
dude. So I just did something.
It did like it was like a slight sound of that earlier, and it sounded like a duck quacking in the middle.
See, on my end, it sounds like I got like a little jackrabbit vibrator or something here under the table, like just to spice up the show a little bit.
Tina, the bartender Funny Stop, was so excited New Year's Eve because she got this black thing at Mark's that's like it looks like a drill, and it has like what looks like a drill bit coming off of it, and then it goes into this like ball, and it's just like a massager. And and she's like showing it to everybody. I'm like, I don't know if you're supposed to show that stuff to people.
Yeah.
Oh, well, at least it was
so mad. She got so mad, and then Sean Lynch came up. Sean Lynch came up and said something to her about it too, and I was like, I already went there.
I love Sean, dude. He's so funny.
Yeah. All right, man. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll talk to you guys later.
Peace
Come
out,
on,
guys.
stop tonight if you're not doing anything.
I'll be
I'm
there.
thinking about it actually. I realize it's only 4:30. I'm in this dark dungeon right now, so I couldn't tell.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Peace.
All right. Keep it down in that.